I have 15 minutes before I can check in right over there at the Amazon warehouse in National City here in San Diego, California. So in this video, join me for an Amazon Flex delivery shift. And right now I have zero idea of where I'm gonna even deliver to because that's just how Amazon Flex works. So expectations, I've signed up for a 3-hour shift. Now about 2.5 hours of that is gonna be driving time. They give you about 30 minutes of that shift to load your packages here. So let's find out. So I got my coffee, got my fuel. Let's give it about 15 minutes. Let's go check in and reveal this mystery destination. So I 100% need to go over this Amazon shift for you because after checking in, it slowly turned into the worst shift I've ever had. So let's go through these steps of what actually happened, what made it so bad. And yeah, let's start with step number 1. So number 1 at the warehouse, let's verify our identity, right? Just to make sure you're the right driver on the account. So we see here, we just take a quick picture and then we're gonna verify our driver's license with the Amazon associate at the check-in kiosk. And then we're directed to our rack of packages as mentioned. So what we're gonna do first is look for the QR code. It's gonna be on a piece of paper attached to the side of the rack here. So let's scan our QR code. The moment of truth, where am I going to be delivering to? And of all the places here in San Diego, the worst place downtown. There is one place that I try to avoid. That is downtown because of parking. Now, my heart kind of sank a little bit after I scanned the QR code, but that is what I'm assigned. Can you get another route? No. If you would bug the Amazon associate asking for another rack of packages, either parking next to another one or having them switch out, I mean, firstly, you're going to get a clear no. And secondly, that may get you deactivated. From what I've heard, that may get you deactivated from the Flex platform. So I am stuck with the downtown route. But we are just getting started. So let's go over what I'm actually delivering here. So yes, delivering downtown. Now, the Flex app does break everything down for you, which is nice. So we can see here 27 deliveries, AKA stops, and then 32 packages. Now I'm thinking 27 stops, that's pretty good for a 2.5 hour shift, and I was wrong there as well. So now let's run through our first stop so you can see exactly the steps when making a delivery. So as mentioned, everything's mapped out in our itinerary. So stop number 1, it says stop number 2, but stop number 1 was warehouse. So delivery number 1, we can see the information here. And if we swipe up, we can see even more information as far as what type of delivery it is. We have of course, the address and the customer name. So once we arrive to our delivery destination, we'll see this screen prompting us to scan the correct package. And a few important notes here again, I typically look for the customer name, you can look for the address, you can look for the box number, and then we can also see the package type, in this case, a large box. Once you scan the package, you'll get this confirmation with this green check mark, and then we'll click on continue with one package. And then we'll get this screen asking us where we're leaving the package. As instructed, this one I left in the leasing office. I actually had several deliveries to this one leasing office, which did make it a little easier. And I selected this option, leaving in another secure area, because technically this wasn't a mailroom or anything like that. And then you'll be prompted to take a picture to confirm. And here's a good example of those multiple deliveries to one destination. So we can see the delivery notes on this one. It asks to deliver to that leasing office. So the app is going to bundle some of these deliveries, so you don't have to go in there and say, oh, okay, this one's the same address, this one's the same address. It will bundle it together for you. So now, something that I really don't get in a lot of other market segments when delivering are deliveries to Amazon lockers. Now, if you're not familiar, it's basically, as it sounds, a locker system from Amazon for package pickup. Now, that's not really a big problem, but what was a little bit confusing is I had at least probably 4 of these Amazon locker deliveries. Now, sometimes they're inside the building. Sometimes they're outside of the building. One time I went into the complex, there was a dedicated mailroom area. It said mailroom with other packages, but then the concierge said, no, you actually have to use our lockers, which wasn't indicated on the Flex app. And it was actually down the hallway and outside in the parking garage. So what you're going to do, let's follow this Amazon drop-off, is you're going to arrive to the Amazon locker, and then you'll check in. Usually it'll say check in, or it'll say carrier check in, and then of course you mark Amazon Flex. Then we're going to scan our check-in QR code at the scanner at the lockers, and then it'll prompt us to scan the package barcode. After that, a locker will automatically open. If it doesn't fit, you could mark it doesn't fit, and then the locker will again automatically open another locker. So you put the package, of course, in the locker, you close it, and then on the screen, you're going to check out using the Flex app to scan the QR code on the locker to check out. One more point about Amazon locker deliveries. The system itself is pretty straightforward. Again, it's gonna kind of map it out in the app. Now, it should say that it is an Amazon locker delivery. Now, the app will always say Amazon locker, but the package label, from what I found, at least on this shift, is sometimes they'll say locker, sometimes they'll just list the address. I know it doesn't sound bad yet, but don't worry, it's definitely coming. Now, here's something new. I've been doing Flex part-time for a couple of years now. This is new, this one-click access. So for this delivery, it said, again, new, one-click access. It's basically just a remote control for one of the doors in the facility. Thought that was kind of cool. I just had one of these, so I clicked the button and I heard the door unlock, but basically the same time I was doing that, someone was coming out. So if you've used this one-click access, let me know if it's gone okay for you or if you had any problems there. All right, and now we gotta dump all the problems of what happened on this shift, what made it so bad, and what caused it to run 30 minutes late. Yeah, it took me an additional 30 minutes to make 27 stops on a 2.5-hour driving route. Again, it's a 3-hour work shift, but it's a basically 2.5-hour driving route. So again, number one, location, which, as mentioned, nothing can be done to change location, which is a big pain. And I was kind of mad at the Flex app. I mean, someone's got to do it. I get it. But basically gave me the worst place to deliver. It's parking, it's safety. I was losing some of the light later in the shift. Now, I wasn't super concerned delivering downtown San Diego, as far as safety at least. But, I mean, parking my Passat, that's another thing too. Just trying to park and then access, which is problem number two. Now, I already mentioned I had 3 or 4 Amazon locker deliveries. I'm not talking about that because there were separate problems just trying to find those sometimes. I'm talking about access, gate codes, and front door codes to get into these complexes. Because what you'll find is, yes, there's delivery notes in the Flex app for you as a driver, and they'll include gate codes. And there's actually a key icon on the driver app that should have the gate code. But of course, what happens? Those gate codes don't work. I mean, sometimes they're changed, I don't know, every quarter, at least every year. Who knows? Maybe more than that. But I had probably a good 4 or 5 deliveries where those gate codes didn't work. And there was one specific model of, I guess, entry machine or whatever that dial pad system is that I knew chances are that machine never works. But I don't think it was the machine. I think it was these gate codes. I mean, think to yourself, how often do you feel these customers are updating, changing gate codes? Well, I don't think they're updating it as fast as these gate codes are changed because I couldn't get in. And there's nothing worse than you see the gate code in the delivery notes and you already think, okay, I bet this isn't gonna work, and it doesn't work. You try the number, you try it with the pound sign, without the pound sign, and then you have to call or text the customer or wait for someone to let you in. And the only thing you're thinking is that time is ticking. You want to finish early because if you didn't know, you get paid for your entire scheduled shift, even if you finish early on Amazon Flex. Well, shortly after starting, I knew that wasn't going to happen because that time was ticking. Next problem, delivery locations. So remember, I mentioned this screen, just showing, okay, where are you dropping the package? So a lot of customers, they want it delivered to their front door. And when I'm looking up at a 30-story apartment complex that maybe I can't even get in, and then maybe someone lets you in, right? Or at least here in San Diego, what happens is if I can get in, well, the next door to get into the complex or the elevator, that needs a code. I already gave you the example of trying to deliver to the mailroom when the concierge said, no, it's the Amazon locker. Well, again, is it to the mailroom? Is it to the front door of the customer? What happens if the delivery notes say, deliver to my front door, which is, again, 18 stories up, and there's a mailroom right next to you, which would be 10 times easier. I mean, you gotta follow the delivery notes, and you gotta go up 18 or whatever floors and deliver to the front door. And that's part of the job, I get it, but there's other times where it's not even that clear. Where, like I mentioned, where is the mailroom? Where are the Amazon lockers? And sometimes they're not even Amazon lockers. They're just complex lockers. There's just privately owned lockers that are basically, it's the exact same thing. I had 2 of those where the complex has their own locker code. So you get the code and then you just go through that system to make the delivery at the lockers. And lastly, it's just time. Everything took longer. Everything. Parking, again, getting to the apartment complex, walking that half block or whatever it is. Then if you get to the gate, if the gate code doesn't work, then going up 18 floors and coming back down, then going to your car, everything took longer. And that's longer than the ideal shifts on Amazon Flex, which is anywhere other than downtown, because then I'm just delivering to homes. It's just sidewalk to front door or sidewalk to much, much smaller apartment complex. So let's go over the numbers to my most frustrating Amazon Flex shift ever. So this shift was scheduled 5:15 to 8:15 p.m. and again, I actually finished at 8:45 p.m. Now this was on what we'll call promo pay. Typically with Amazon Flex, you'll get $18 per hour. When I signed up for this shift, it was actually $21 per hour. So for the scheduled time, the gross revenue total was $63. And as mentioned, that's a gross revenue per hour of $21. During this shift, I delivered 32 packages with 27 stops. Now, one good thing, yes, it did keep me in one general zone, which is a positive of Flex. So business miles, just 15.8, which when you consider pay is a good $3.99 per mile. And based on these miles, that gives us a tax deduction of $9.09. Overall verdict, I think this was a pretty frustrating shift because, again, the parking, the access, which got, worse and worse, and then trying to find the lockers and then the delivery destinations, it seemed to just get worse and worse on this shift. Now, it would be pretty ideal, and let me know if you like this idea, if there was some kind of filter on the driver's side that said, hey, I don't want to deliver in these certain zones. So let me know down below in the comments if you'd try Amazon Flex, especially knowing that you may deliver downtown. And if you got value in this video, definitely drop me a like. And you can also click or tap the screen now for my most recent video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.